Honey, I dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold.
We welcome you back to Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough. Our halftime festivities behind us as we're just about set for the opening kick of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. He's going deep for Brown. And that will be incomplete.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
Here now, Johnny Townsend. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Edelman set to return. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Patriots take over. Here comes the Patriots offensive unit. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That good for 22 and a first down.
How about our reigning AFC Player of the Week, hot-footing it into the secondary on that run?
Yeah, nice long run. That's what got him the award a week ago. Maybe he's trying for 2 in a row here this week. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They go right back to White here on first down. And he's got this down to the 35. It'll be a Patriot first down on a pickup of 16. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
That one good for 33 and a first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Hey, go 66.
And they will run it with Michelle. And he keeps fighting his way into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Sony Michel, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. Second effort there, he was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
Extra point try for Gostkowski. And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is.
Stephen Gostkowski to kick off for New England.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be taken short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Now a play fake. Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And now Edelman. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a touchdown for every quarter so far. 3 here in the 3rd and probably hoping he's not done yet.
And this is a situation where it's okay to be greedy. When you've already scored 3 times, you want 4, you want more than that. And guess what? That only helps your team.
Yeah, so far 3, now in search of 4. So Brady and the Pats take over 1st and 10 at their own 24. The drive starts with a run by White. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. James White, 76 yards. As his guys continue to put this one out of reach. You talk about the dominating rushing performances that you and I have seen together. This has got to be right up there. His 4th touchdown run of the game and another long one to boot.
And I don't need to ask for a witness because you're right here with me. We are watching this, and we're watching such a performance that it's demoralizing for anyone on defense. It starts out, coaches screaming, tackle him, get him. And after that last touchdown, I bet it's pure silence on that side of the ball.
Extra point good by Gostkowski. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from
the football comes out. Jacobs lost it, and it's picked up by the Patriots. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up, there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
First down, here's White. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. A 13-yard touchdown run. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Patriots.
And this is the kind of day a running back dreams of. They keep handing him the ball, and he keeps taking it in for touchdowns.
Gostkowski for the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Once again, it's Jacobs. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Carr. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Back now in Foxborough. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Carr now on 1st down. His throw incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. To throw again. Carr. And his throw here's incomplete. They were trying to go to Brown once again, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Carr, and he comes back with one complete. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here now, Johnny Townsend. He's been terrific so far. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Patriots offense now. They work their way back onto the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. Because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Opting to run again here with White. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. James White, 64 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. The point after try for Gostkowski. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Tyrell Williams was the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
And able to complete it to Moreau. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Throw from Carr complete to Renfro. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Raiders on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Check, 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 check.
Again, it's Carr. And that is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
This one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he is.
He's already bought all the property. And now look at him go. He's at the 40. The 20, 10, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Throwing again on second down. Carr. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Lawrence Guy. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Carr. This is caught by Antonio Brown. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough, and it'll be 4th down.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
He's going to let it fly, and this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Patriots take over. They're going to have terrific field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Mike 54. Watch the run, watch the run. Alert!
Brady deferring to White on the draw. He'll have a first down inside the 10 and all the way down to the 5. Now they'll have it first and goal following that gain of 17.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. So this will wind up a victory for the New England Patriots. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Pats, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one between the Buffalo Bills.
Coach, it is clear, but it is cold here today as EA Sports takes us to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So here come the Patriots to take over on offense. They're led out by a guy who's done just about everything you could ever imagine to do in this league, the great Tom Brady.
It's been a lot of fun watching him develop in his career. But that will to win, he's had that probably since birth. and it transmits itself throughout his entire ball club. Watching him play, it can be an absolute joy unless you're on the other team.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run it here. This is James White. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. The numbers for White a week ago, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. And he's got this down to the 35. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 35-yard line. Brady gives this to White. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Now let's give you a look here at the New England offense.
An offensive line play is not something that comes to mind readily, but it's always a big key in a ball game. And already these guys, they're getting it done up front, as we've seen this rushing attack have some early success.
On 2nd down, it's White. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
He's going to be very close to a 1st down. Good running, but looks like he's a yard short.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. They'll run for it. This is White. And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Here's White. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, they'll run with White. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Michel. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Sony Michel, touchdown number 18 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Gostkowski with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was Sony Michel's touchdown scamper that polished the drive off. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So now the Bills getting ready for their first drive on offense. It's Josh Allen that'll be orchestrating the offense, a 6'5" quarterback from Wyoming.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here.
Allen hit. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Patriots. And he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
The Patriot offense heading back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. As we count down through the final few weeks of the season, these guys have nothing to sweat about. They've climbed top spots, so the road to the Super Bowl, it runs through them.
And there's a natural inclination here, partner, to say, okay.
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Gostkowski the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now T.J. Yeldon. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. But you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he will possibly get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. On the other hand, it will definitely take us to the end of the first quarter of play. An extra corner comes on now for the Patriots D on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Allen. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
Going on the ground, it's White. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with White. And some room to work. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. James White with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Extra point good by Gostkowski. And it's now 21-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
Out come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
I'm impressed,
Yeah, I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch. How much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now, to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Now this throw caught left side. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. But there's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Derrick Henry. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they're dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. Jerry Hughes on the stop. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
He sets to fire deep. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now a carry for White. There he goes, left side. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. James White on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Gostkowski with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And here come the Bills. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half. You still got a chance.